the 60 Plus podcast.
I'm Janet.
And I'm Joe. How are you today, Janet?
I'm good. How are you?
She's good.
Oh, no, I'm doing very well.
Oh,
thank
she's just
you.
saying that to get under my
I
skin.
want to get your goose going or whatever that's called.
I have a goose.
I don't know.
I have a goose. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I said, what's going on? She goes, I'm on my way to pick up 12 chickens.
Oh, live ones?
Yeah.
Oh. Like not to eat. Like
Not to, well, I don't know what they're going to do with them.
To put in her yard and to like get eggs from.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun. Hey, fresh eggs are the best.
They are.
Oh my goodness.
So good.
And they're beautiful too because they're all different colors. They're cool.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not like white or brown. They're like beige and pink and all kinds of green and really lovely. Anyway.
We don't usually talk about stuff like this, do we?
We are totally digressing because we have to get to the good stuff.
We do have to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today besides colored eggs?
Okay, so I'm really excited.
Should save that for our Easter episode.
Okay, enough about the eggs, all right?
Okay.
So I'm really excited, okay, because we're doing... plus I had coffee. We're doing a new series. It's called Inspiration. And you're like, okay, what's that about, Janet?
See, I don't even need to do my job. What's that about, Janet?
We are going to be interviewing people who are 60 plus, who are doing really inspirational, amazing things. And we have our very first guest here today, and it's Tim and Judy from Crow Follow.
Crow Follow is
a band.
Very good.
And they're amazing, and they write their own music, and it's amazing music. And I just think they're great, and they're very inspirational.
Welcome, Tim and Judy.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
We're so happy you guys came today. I really appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
So when we have guests on the 60 Plus podcast, for the most part, with some exceptions, we have to ask, and I'm sorry, you're going to have to admit, you're over 60.
Oh, yeah. I am. Do you want to know exactly how much?
If you care to share, that's fine.
I am 66.
Okay, good for you.
Thank you.
Tim?
I'm 68.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
good.
so they
Okay,
are
good.
over 60.
We don't have to kick you out now. You're in. You're in the club.
We belong.
You belong.
All right, Janet.
Weird club to be in.
Isn't it? Did you ever expect you were going to be in it?
Yes.
You did expect it?
I
never
did.
expected. No.
I've always said I'm shooting for 100.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I'm not even.
I'm shooting for tomorrow.
That is another way of looking at it, which I
just want to be pain free. No.
Oh, no.
There is no pain free.
Yeah.
Not on this side.
Well, maybe now I'll shoot for a little longer than tomorrow. Maybe not 100, but somewhere between tomorrow and 100.
Yeah. It's all good. Every day's good, right?
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah. Put some questions together for you
wow.
guys. And you know, if you don't want to answer them, that's fine. But I think they're good questions.
If you don't want to answer, then where did you come for?
This will just be starters, conversation starters, and it's really just a conversation. So, first question is, how long have you guys been making music together?
That's a difficult question.
Good question.
Well, we thought it was the easiest question, so it's going to get a lot harder.
There's so many sub-questions.
We started
the minute we
yeah.
met. Well, not quite. Well,
long date. We were singing together to the moon.
yeah. That's what I was remembering. Our first, we took a road trip and we wound up in this wild place called Cauldron Farm.
Yep.
And there was a big.
It was our first house.
Right, and there was a giant fire, and then we were dancing
around the fire with a bunch of amazing, creative, counterculture, lovely people.
Okay, and what year was that?
People. That would have been. Wait. I know.
This is a test.
2002.
2002.
We started dating in 2002. And then we got married in 2004, but that was before we got married. I think it was 2002, the summer of 2002.
Would have been.
So like 20 years ago.
I always say
we just had our 20th wedding.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I always say I can't remember when things happened, but I remember how it felt.
Oh, Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
We're ridiculous.
I thought this was gonna be inspiration about music. Now I feel like this is inspiration about love. So maybe it's a little bit of both.
Well, so much of music is about love.
Well, that's
Absolutely.
true.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. It's true. And not
That's
just love in the romantic partnership sense.
right.
There's a million kinds of love. I mean,
Oh,
there
yeah.
was a whole bunch we wrote about the last single we put out that was called I'm in Love with You, that was sort of emphasizing the different ways of
Yeah.
that you can be in love with everyone.
Yeah.
Not impossible. It's not far-fetched.
Right.
There's a way for that to be true.
It happens every time we get on stage,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I am so grateful to be able to do this thing. That all the people
Which thing?
there,
The thing you have with Tim or the music?
performing, the music. And I've been extraordinarily fortunate in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But I also worked really hard. So,
Yeah.
you get kind of what you
Yeah.
into.
Definitely. Definitely.
What we practice, we get better at.
Let me ask a question in a different way. How long have you guys been together as Crow Follow?
Yeah.
About 6 years, 5 or 6 now.
Oh, it's pretty new.
Pro Follow.
This band is
Another
relatively
band
new.
before this one.
Okay.
But
Called Engine Judy that we did from 2010 till 2013.
Which artists or bands have influenced you over the years?
Oh,
wow.
Patti Smith, Lou Reed, PJ Harvey, Nick Cave,
Mm,
Joni Mitchell, who is really one of my
yes.
heroes. I like her cranky nature and her remarkable music. She's just amazing. And that voice, oh my God.
This is a broad spectrum of artists.
Yeah.
Well, it all falls under a certain sort of art rocky venue
Mhm.
umbrella.
Hmm.
I was
Okay.
looking up art rock to say, like, people say we're art rock. So what is art rock, right? What does that mean? And of course, there are a million ideas about what it means. But a lot of the people I just mentioned are often mentioned.
It's funny because somebody said to me that they thought you sounded like Marianne Faithfull.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful for comments like that. I have heard that. I mean, I think we both have, and Patti Smith too, we have these low voices,
Mhm.
but it's not like you can decide such a thing. You
Right.
just get to use what you have to the best of your ability and as hard as you want to work at it.
How about you, Tim? Do you want to add anybody to the mix there?
Tom Waits.
Oh, I liked
I have to say Tom Waits. Sorry, did I take your Tom Waits?
You did. But that's okay. Tom Waits is huge enough
Well, and you kind of
for a piece of everyone.
True.
I started out doing this stuff when I was in college and I was a film major and I was making a movie and I needed music for it. A buddy of mine and I got together and wrote some songs. And then after the movie was done, I realized that the best and most fun part of making the movie was writing the music. So we started a band. It was a kind of a punk band called the Mustache Girls, and and then we did one show at the Rat, which was like the basic punk rock dive in Boston. And after that, he says, I quit. I can't deal with it. Too much chaos. So I was left without a songwriting partner. I didn't know how to play guitar at the time, so I wanted to keep doing it. So I had to teach myself how to play guitar. But while we were in the Mustache Girls, I was the quote unquote lead singer.
Mhm.
And my inspiration at the time was Mick Jagger. I mean, who else are you gonna?
Right.
It started with that. And then I started writing. And then, my mind expanded. It was all the original punk rockers, the Buzzcocks, the Ramones, of course, but it was
Gang of Four.
Yeah, Gang of Four, like a lot of those kind of
Mhm.
edgy bands. But the first like real split, like when I realized that I really had to get into music, was when I wound up using a friend of mine in college introduced me to Patti Smith horses, and when I listen to that first half, Land, it just split my head open. It totally changed my paradigm. And it was after that I was like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for to do. And this is the kind of effects that I want to have with the art that I'm doing. So I use that in a soundtrack for film. And then from then on, I just was inspired by that kind of world changing vibe to start writing my own music. It just moved on from there. And as I matured, I got more into like Tom Waits and the way he's able to build worlds inside his songs.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first songs I ever heard that was, to me, was like building a world. This is funny. It was back when I was a kid. This song, "Hot Town Summer in the City."
Oh, yeah. Hmm?
That's, and I think that was the Lovin' Spoonful, but I'm not sure. So
Pretty sure you're right.
And when I heard that song in the
the Hollies. It might have been the Hollies.
yeah, I'm not sure. But when I heard that song on the little radio back in Brooklyn, I was like, I was like, wow, it's a real world. It's a world inside there.
Loving Spoonful, you were right.
Yeah. So that was, that was my goal in songwriting, became like to be able to create worlds like that when a song is written.
Do you think your approach to music has changed since you have turned? And this would make sense because it's been you just turned 60 when you started Crow Follow. If it was 6 years ago.
That was a big year.
Yeah. Tell us about that. Let's talk about Crow Follow.
That changed my life forever. The Crow Follow began, and I became a grandmother. We became
Oh, yay.
So, we have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old grandson.
Oh.
I think the life of older artists is only different in the sense that you're experiencing different part of life.
Mm-hmm.
And life comes in these chapters.
Yeah.
It's the way it's delivered, and each chapter has different needs and different stresses and different difficulties and different gifts, and
right.
So, but when we started the band, I turned 60, and it did feel like a transition.
Right.
I don't know. I don't really. I'm opposed to the idea that age is somehow negative. I reject it instinctively. It just seems ridiculous to me. So, I'm glad to be alive.
Yep.
For sure. I'm very glad to be alive.
Yes.
I've had my longevity tested, and I'm glad I won out.
Yay.
And
you're still winning.
I'm still winning. I intend to, if you're an artist, you make art. That's what you do. You make art. Art can be music, art can be drawing, painting, writing, dancing, anything that is expressive.
Podcasting.
Right on.
Writing and performing, and also the technical gifts that you have to learn to integrate with all of that. Like, everything comes with these needs. So turning 60 was one of a million transitions that was going on, and the number is sort of interesting, but it's not a downward slide. It's the next thing.
Right. I agree. And that's the whole reason why we started this podcast, right? Is just to talk about that. And you guys, what you just said was like, I couldn't script it better to talk about the whole inspiration for this inspiration series, right? It's like all that good stuff just keeps on going. And it's not like, oh, I'm 60 now,
Well, that's very
I'm 70 now.
I will say we make a point, like, we spend a lot of time with people of all different ages.
Right.
My closest friends are closer to my age, the people I came up with, the people I've known for decades. Like, I have a special connection with some people like that, but I have really close friends who I do really important things with, who are much younger.
Right.
And a few who are older.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
And I've always kind of done that. I find the whole age, I think age is really interesting. I'm not negating the importance of age. I think age really matters. I just think it's not negative to age.
Right.
Oh, no, I see nothing but positive.
And the alternative is worse.
It's what I
Yes,
always say.
definitely.
People say, "Oh, I hate getting old," and I say it
Alternative.
beats the alternative. I say it all the time.
Yep, it's a good line.
Yeah. Do you think aging has brought new like creativity or insights into your music? I mean, we talk about aging as sort of coupled with wisdom and creativity, I think.
Focus on different topics
Yeah.
than I did. Like young people write mostly about, and I notice it, and with the people I know, young people write a lot about their personal experience, their close relationships, romantic relationships.
Angst.
Yeah, but I think that's natural to that part of life.
Yeah.
I agree.
They're still figuring out that way of being. But by the time you get older, maybe you've kind of resolved some of that. And I find when I write, I'm mostly looking outward.
Yeah.
I'm not really writing about my own inner personal experience in great detail.
I
'Cause
agree with you that
I'm older.
sometimes you figured stuff out. Sometimes you figured out that it doesn't matter.
Right.
There are things that you were so angsty about that it really doesn't, like, I don't care about that anymore.
Right. Things that used to seem so important.
hmm
Which doesn't mean they weren't important then. It's not like you made a mistake back then.
I think sometimes it maybe
Do you
did.
think so?
Sometimes.
Maybe.
Sometimes.
I wouldn't assume that. I mean, because
No.
people go around beating themselves up about their past a lot.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
No.
I don't have time for that.
Very useful, you know.
Take your lessons and then move on, right? You know, you just can't change
To the
anything
best
of your ability. Yeah.
I find that as I get older, there are certain emotions. I don't know if I want to call them emotions, experiences. And certain topics and certain ways of writing that are a little bit scary when you're younger.
Mhm.
And when you're younger, you're thinking a lot about what's your place in the group, what's your place in society, what's your identity
Mhm.
in whatever milieu you're choosing to be, your tribe, if you will.
Right.
I find that when I get older, I'm less concerned about that. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm obviously still aware of it, but as far as my responsibility to the writing that I'm doing, my responsibility to the songs that we're crafting, I feel much more responsibility to whatever the message that the song tells me it's about, and not so much how is this going to affect my social position or my, my position. So I wind up writing songs that sometimes, frankly, scare the piss out of me because I went there,
Mhm.
and it's kind of freeing to be able to like complete those songs regardless.
Right. Right. This
And
idea
that's
of having to
something that
play
I
it safe is kind of out the window, you know?
something
It's
that
like,
kind of comes with age.
yeah.
Well, we've said it before. The older we get, the less we care about what other people think of us.
Right. Right. And also the more risk you're willing. I don't know if risk is even a thing.
No.
It's like, I don't know. For me, it's like, hey, if I don't do it now, like, why not go out on the limb here? Because this is it, right?
There is,
This is the time.
I think
But-
it gets a lot easier to be honest,
Mm.
you know, because you realize that the price of dishonesty is way higher than the price of braving an
Yes.
honest statement. You know, just,
Yeah. And just speaking your truth,
yeah.
right? And all that good stuff that goes
And
along
also
with it.
noticing that, you know, what's scary to me is conceptual. My life is safe.
Right.
Not very many people on earth can say that.
Right. Yeah.
So
Excellent
any
point.
problems that I have, I'm
There-
very conscious of my privilege that I have a safe home, that I have a safe partner,
Right.
that I don't have to worry about food. These things
Right.
are very basic, and yet they make all of my concerns negotiable.
yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I do find though is that while I'm more fearless in my writing, I'm also more aware and conscious of what effect the things that I make may have on the world, and
Mhm.
it's a sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be. What do we say? First, it has to not suck.
Rule number one.
And it's like
We have very few rules.
things get binned because they suck, and being a little more relentless about that.
Mm-hmm.
And the more songs that one writes, the less precious each individual song becomes. And you're able to just go, well, that was half an idea that didn't work.
Right.
So there's advantages to the more you do it, the better you get, simply because you're not, each one is not as precious as the one before.
Yeah. So what's your favorite song right now that either you've done recently that maybe we can play a little clip of?
There are 10 on the album that we released called Red Velvet Radio. And then we've released 3 more songs as singles since then. And those will probably eventually be included in a...
I'll just pick my favorite.
Sure. Yeah, feel free.
Oh, Indiana Line.
Yeah, that one. I love that
one?
one. Yeah.
How does Indiana Line start?
Well, it starts with the poetry.
The poetry, the one with
Yes.
the poetry and stuff?
Yes. Yeah, I love that one.
Leaden, slate gray clouds stack up over the horizon line. A thin, chalk-like line of white smoke rises from the long, black, Tipperillo-shaped chimney of a Midwestern meth factory.
Sickle moon, Indiana line. Pushing 18 wheels and I'm doing fine. 37 tons, double yellow line. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. She said, oh, I love you. You hear me knocking? She said, oh, I love you. So swallow up upon the lips. Time on the railroad switch. There's a lonely tree in a cornfield fire. Skeleton twisting on one thin wire. A red hot burn in those cavernous eyes. I'm gonna see my baby tonight.
We need to make this 2 parts because we're just going along so well.
So we don't want to cut the conversation short.
Right. So I think we'll end this part right here, and then we'll pick up part 2 in the next episode.